So what you're talking about, Dana, is the 702 program, and it is critical to national security. Originally enacted.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Lamonts G Custom Live Show, the number 3 podcast. I don't have anything specifically to conversate on today. So as I'm dealing with my new device, I'm going to run down some things that are going on. It's a very big day in news and politics. And I'm gonna be honest with you, the majority of the people, that's everyday people, won't be interested. There's a bunch of Intel leaders that's going to go before Congress and give them updates. There's a guy, I can't think of his name. He's a sitting senator. He's going to head the Department of DHS. He's going through his hearings right now. Um, as you know, Israel and the U.S. is still bombing the hell out of Iran, trying to get all these underlying leaders. They say they've gotten the individual who was responsible for the slaughter of their own people, the Persians in Iran, and this is something I didn't know. The leadership itself, and listen, I apologize. I'm not a dummy, but a lot of things, you know, you learn, you just keep on learning. I didn't know the Ayatollah and that regime were not Persians. The people of Iran are Persians. That this leadership, whether it's former leadership and the Ayatollah and that whole thing, was some kind of extreme Muslim group. I don't know if it's Shiites, Orthodox. I don't know that, but when you say how can you kill your own citizens? Well, they're actually not killing their own citizens. They're killing the citizens of Iran, the Persians. So um, as you know, on the sports front, I think the biggest news, especially in this state, Aiden Holloway was arrested. Like he had a pound of weed or more, for distribution purposes. And I'm going to repeat what I heard yesterday from a guy. In the day of the NIL, and just assuming that he was a $750,000 plus player, why? Why? I can see back in my day, no, honestly, I don't believe in selling dope. I don't believe in doing dope, but I could see back in the day where, the dope boy, that persona was big. Everybody wanted to be a Nino Brown. Everybody wanted to be dope boys. And, you did your thing and you had a little bit of a come up. I understand that. But in today's time in NIL, you making the amount of money that he's made in Alabama in 2 years, it'll probably take me 5-6 years to make. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know, man. I think they dismissed him from the team. They kicked his butt out of Tuscaloosa. So I don't know what Alabama's going to look like going forward. I think they play Hofstra in the first round, and some people are predicting they'll probably go beyond that, possibly. But the chance of making it to the Sweet 16, the Elite Eight, without this 20 plus point scoring guy and one of the best 3-point shooters, it's not looking good. But listen, this is Alabama. Alabama sports, and what do we say? The next man up. So, but it ain't football. Um, excuse me. That's pretty much. It's pretty much it. I don't see anything else that's newsworthy. Um, like I said, the hearings and all that. It's going on in Washington, and the NCAA tournament, both the men and the women's, about to start. I watched some games last night from NIT, and I want to say Texas played somebody for a play-in game. And I'm gonna be honest with you, man. Probably second only to the bowl season in football, and I mean the former bowl season, not the crap we're dealing with now. But second only to the old school bowl system that we had. This is probably one of my most exciting times of the year. And it's almost like, unlike football, whether it's NFL, whether it's big time college football, whether it's high school football, you pretty much know who has what and their strengths, and you can pretty much bet your mortgage, such and such gonna win. You know what I'm saying? Especially in D1 college football. Well, not win, but get to the point of obtaining the championship. Um, Barring injury, you know who's hot and who's not. NFL, college, high school, it is what it is. In basketball, all you need is one, two cats get hot. And I mean Michael Jordan hot. I've seen it, I've witnessed it. And one of the most beautiful, in my opinion, examples of that is Jimmy V and the North Carolina State Wolfpack back in the 80s, man. You know, underdogs, and they win it all. I think a guy, I heard it yesterday, the original shot was actually short, and I think they said he called it a pass. Either way, they won it. Now, this time of year reminds me of the great movie Hoosiers. High school team, coach passed away, looking for a new coach. They find this guy that's in the Navy, or Gene Hackman. He played the character. Um, the season started off rough. It was the coach against the community, you know, and then Jimmy, which is the best player in their little area, when the original coach died, he didn't want to have nothing to do with basketball anymore. And he finally saw, you know what, this guy's got a lot of the same characteristics that my old coach had. It's time I started playing basketball again. And once he did, they were unstoppable. God Almighty, I love that movie, man. I didn't watch a lot of sports movies because of that, because of Hoosiers. Now, after the fact, years later, I started watching a lot of sports movies, and I was like, wow, how did I miss this? I know why I missed it, because I wouldn't let nothing get in front of Hoosiers. Nothing, 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 nothing. But um, if I'm not mistaken, you got the. I want to say it ain't the World Games. It's baseball's best players via countries, well, almost like soccer. Um, I think Venezuela played United States and probably beat them. I don't know, but you got to realize you got a lot of the South American and Central American best players playing in Major League Baseball. So they like they don't know each other. Matter of fact, Ronald Acuna for the Atlanta Braves, he's from Venezuela, if I'm not mistaken. So um, that's going on. I haven't paid any attention to it, but once you go down the news feed or whatever, it pops up. Uh, yeah, that's pretty much it on world news and sports and that type of thing. It's the middle of the week. A lot's going on, but then again, not a lot's going on. You know, nothing that we're hasn't anticipated or you know didn't expect. Weather-wise, listen, the past 3 4 days has been hell, especially where I live, Northeast Alabama. Listen, and this is absolute fact. In a 24 to 48 hour period, we had blistering heat. I think it got to 82 degrees Saturday or Sunday. And I know it was a blistering heat, 82 degrees. When there's no clouds, yeah, to me that's blistering heat. I don't care if it's 96. If you ain't have any clouds, it's blistering heat. But we went from 82 degrees, absolutely beautiful, to 24 to 48 hours later. Not only did we have rain, and I mean gusty rain, I think they said the wind gust was 70 miles an hour. Um, in some places, I've actually, and I think I said this in the previous podcast I did a couple of days ago. Um, Trees down everywhere. You know, hell in my own backyard. Once I get done with this, I'm going to clean up back there. I got tree limbs and a lot of crap down. But went from beautiful skies to blistering heat to rain. And I promise you, I saw this with my own eyes. I was at work, and I'm witnessing this. It went from rain, heavy rain, torrential downpours, to sleet, to snow, and a freaking blizzard in a matter of 5 to 6 hours. And that's when I went to work. When I went to work, it was calm. It was kind of getting a little cool. You know, you felt it a little bit. But from the point when I got to work to about 12, 1, 2 o'clock, rain, torrential downpours, sleet, blizzard, snow, and 2, 3 hours after that, around 3, 4, 5 o'clock, sun's out and it's beautiful. Alabama weather. That's what I'm talking about. But got a text from a friend of mine. She's down at the beach, Panama City. That's her happy place. That's a happy place for many people, you know, enjoying the beach. God bless her. God bless them. Normally, my wife would have either we would be in Gatlinburg, Cherokee, North Carolina, or Panama City this time of year, but she's slipping big time. I think she wants to put all her eggs in one basket for her graduation from DeVry University, which will be this summer, late spring, early summer, I want to say. So she's graduating, and I'm proud of her for that. It's going to be in Chicago. I don't like that, but I think that's going to be her main focus, at least for the next 3 4 months, and then she'll probably get back to normal with her traveling. My wife is one of them people. She'll go to the beach, whether it's Gulfport or Panama City or Navarre. She'll go 6 to 8 times a year, 2 or 3 cruises. Um, but like I said, she slowed down a little bit, and I expect that to pick back up in the next year or so. Um, and she's got a car payment. She purchased a car, and all the cars here I've always paid for. Every car in our yard except the one she got from her father, I actually paid for him. So this will be her first car payment, well, second car payment since we've been married for 17 years. Um, but like I said, I not a lot's going on. But you know, of course, like all my podcasts, I have to go here. Um, People who don't like you, don't like me, they're out there in full force, and we just have to stay prayed up. We have to pray for these people, pray for their safety, their sanity. Even though we know they're crazy, they're out there. One of the biggest reasons that this hearing, well, both of these hearings, are for the attacks on our homeland. Blowing up synagogues and schools, and just killing random folks. We can sit here all day, and we can blame the last president. And listen, he was a puppet. He didn't run nothing, not one thing, not one decision that happened within that 4-year period came from him. Who did it come from? In my opinion, multiple people. Whether it was his wife, his son, or Barack Obama, or Susan Rice, these are all leftists. They're all evil people, and I just don't think it was one person making any type of decisions. But I'm gonna tell you what scares me, and it scares me big time. I heard a female blatantly say, and she was in government. I can't remember her position or where she actually was from. That when the Democrats and these liberals get power again, and not just the presidency, but when they get a hold of Congress, have all 3 branches of government, this country is finished. And she didn't say finished. In her eyes, this country is going to get back to where they want it. But for us normal people, for us who love to get up and go to work every day and enjoy our freedoms, it's going to be like Virginia is right now. And if you're not familiar, if you haven't watched any of my stuff in the past week or two, Virginia is a you don't want to be living in Virginia right now. Matter of fact, I'd rather be living in California than Virginia right now, and that says a whole lot because you can pay me enough to live in California. Period. So she basically said, once they get power, all 3 branches of government, we're doomed. We came pretty damn close this time. Just think if Kamala Harris just got elected, where we would be right now. Listen, I make a damn good living. I'm not wanting for nothing. And between my wife and myself, we are very upper middle class. I told my wife the other day, shit, the amount of money she makes, she's damn near finna break into the dangerous tax bracket where they're gonna take 20-30% of your income. But if Kamala Harris had been elected, I hate to think where we would be. Just think about the last 4 years, and it'll be worse. Money being stolen, crime everywhere, people fighting, burning down churches, cutting folk. It'll really be bad. Now, I live in a conservative state, but even in the conservative state, you have pockets. Like in Alabama's Montgomery, Birmingham, we have these pockets of liberals. In Texas, you have Austin, and Houston. So just because you live in a conservative state don't always mean that you're always going to be safe. There's pockets of these liberal-minded folks, and they're still dangerous at that level. Just as dangerous as they are in Virginia and California right now. Matter of fact, I heard a statistic where California, if you take the illegals away, is 49 to 52% conservative. And that, I said, what? All these satanic and liberal policies coming out of California, but you're telling me if you take the illegals away, that it's 49 to 52% conservative. That's crazy. But that's one thing we gotta fight against, y'all, for the next 5 to 10 years, man. We have to fight against these people getting these branches of government and any type of power. They want to control us. They want to control you. And the thing about it, the people who voting for him are drinking the Kool-Aid, man. We got to reach these people. And I'm going to end with this. And it's a perfect segue into my epilogue. So whenever I feel like, I'm doing this, I'm actually my downtime when I'm not working, when I'm not spending time with my family, I jump on here and do a show, do a podcast, which I absolutely love, but is it making a difference? Am I doing anything positive? And when I get the feeling low, which is very rare, ironically, I'm in the grocery store this morning, kind of feeling that way, like, damn, I'm off. There's a whole bunch I could be doing, yard work, etc., running, working out. But I'm worried about, should I go home and do a podcast, man? And in the grocery store, I get an alert from Google. And it says, great job. This is your stats for the last 60 days. And I'm like, wow, because when I get on my analysis on YouTube, 3, 4 views, no likes, it's almost like, who cares? But according to Google, I've pretty much got a ton of views. I didn't see anything about likes or sharing or anything like that, which is cool. But a ton of views, that's my main thing. Because if you know anything about the algorithm, that's gonna get to somebody else, and they gonna see it. Maybe not like it, but they gonna see it. Somebody else gonna see it, and it's gonna hit somebody one of these days. So I get a hit from Twitter. This is your analysis for the past 30 days, and I'm like, wow. Now, am I breaking any kind of records? No, hell no. But eyeballs are watching what I do. And if what I do can reach one person, that person can tell somebody, and they can tell somebody, oh, hey, okay, I don't watch his stuff. I watch Vince Everett Ellison. Well, he's a consumer of Vince Everett Ellison, and his content is on point just like that. Okay, well, maybe I start watching it. And the main thing is changing minds. Changing minds. Somebody who has a liberal mindset, a liberal, democratic, satanic mindset. We want that. That's what we do this for. We want to change those minds. If you want to hurt a child, if you want to take a 9-year-old boy and cut his private parts off, give him injections and give him medicine to make him a girl, you're sick. You're a sick individual. Because see, it's not like I don't have kids and that's just a theory to me. I have a son. I have 2 daughters. I have 2 grandsons and a granddaughter. And not one person on earth is going to hurt them in no way, form, or fashion. And I look at my daughters. They love being girls. They love buying purses and getting their nails done and getting their hair done. That's a beautiful thing, man. And I think, what kind of slime ball would I have been at the age, when they were 6, 7, 8 years old? You know what? I don't want no girl. I want all boys. I'm gonna start giving them testosterone and screwing up their life. Y'all, these people are sick, and we cannot allow them to obtain that power ever again, man, ever again. So if what I do can reach one person, and that one person will tell another person, that's my goal. I don't care about 1,000,000 likes. I don't care about going viral. I don't care about none of that. I don't care about making I was on Rumble, and Rumble set up a little bit different than YouTube. Rumble, actually, if you go into your settings and all that good stuff, you can see where your stuff, whether if your podcast had 2 or 3 ads, you gonna get a piece of that pie. Now, of course, mine had, none. It was zero balance, which I don't care if it was a penny or $1,000. I don't care nothing about that. Donate it to charity. But my point is, from my analysis on Twitter, if it was set up like Rumble, which it may be, I don't know. I haven't seen anything like that on Twitter. But if it was set up like that on Twitter, I'd be making money, which I don't want to. I don't care about that. I got a job for that. But my point is, if you said that what I do is generating ad space, then somebody's watching. It ain't going in vain. So, listen, I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing. You guys stay blessed. I appreciate you and I love you. And then, like always, or I should say, as always, in the name of the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit, I'll see you next time.